Yo, what is up YouTube? My name is Rednu. Today we're going to be talking about should you pull for Mejiro Dober Taiki Shuttle, both in very great camping outfits, or the support card banner featuring El Condor Pasa SSR Guts card, or the Matikanetannhauser SSR Wit card. If this is helpful to you, make sure you guys remember to like and sub. Use code MAMBO for 10% off your gamer subs. Let's get right into it. So, let's take a look first at Camping Mejiro Dober. Probably one of my most favorite outfits in the entire game. Beautiful sundress, very, very pretty. Love this blue, love all the frills and the design. The sun hat is great. Mejiro Dober Sapphire Sojourn is a pretty cool Umamusume. Her growth rate has 20% speed and 10% wit. This is slightly different from her original outfit where she has 10% speed, 20% wit, and all in all, what it's gonna mean is that she's gonna be easier to build rather than to like min-max. For newer players, she's gonna be easier to build just because you're gonna get a lot more speed growth out of your other training sort of facilities, right? Her track, distance, and style, her aptitudes are going to be the same. She primarily likes to be a mild to medium distance runner because that is closely reflecting the real life race courses she used to dominate in real life, right? And it's mostly composes of like the Tiara race courses, right? Like the Shukasho, the Japanese Oaks, right? As well as the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Her style, she prefers to be a late surger. She can be built for a front runner or a pace chaser, but as you see with the skills that we're going to review, she mostly prefers being a late surger, pretty much exclusively. Unfortunately, she has a G rating on end closer, which she would be okay with, but because it's G rated, it's just way too difficult to sort of remedy that. Let's take a look at her unique skill and her victory poses.
私についてきて。次はもっといいとこ連れて行ってあげるから。ん？待って。見せてくれてありがとう。
So a very adorable, unique skill. Love the dog, love the dress, love her shy expressions. It's very, very great. Mejiro Dober Camping has some pretty interesting skills. So we have wherever this wonder leads, that's our unique skill. If positioned mid-pack on a downhill just before late race, and there's a large distance left to the finish, enjoy the race to the fullest, increasing velocity. Enjoying the race to the fullest has got to be the most important part about this unique skill. But the second most important thing would be the conditions, okay? Let's take a look at the conditions for this unique skill. We have distance rate over 60. So basically, more than halfway through the race. If you are on a downhill, if it is a mid-race, if you are in the late surger typical positions, anywhere between 4th and 7th place, and there are 500 meters remaining, then, and only then, can you get this speed boost. Now, you might be wondering, okay, when is this going to happen? When is this not going to happen, right? And I have the answer for you. So Mejiro Dober in real life, she's most known for her double tiara victory. She won the Yushin Himba, the Japanese Oaks. That's going to be in Tokyo, 2400 meter. The Shukasho Kyoto, that's 2000 meter. And the back-to-back Queen Elizabeth II Cup, that's going to be in Kyoto yet again in 2200 meter. This is why Mejiro Dober, her original outfit, has Yodo Invicta, this gold Kyoto racecourse type skill, and why this outfit has Kyoto racecourse. So if we take a look at the courses where she's supposed to excel in, right? The Tokyo, this is 1600 meter, but the Tokyo 2400 meter, let's actually go back here and cut back. Okay. So the Tokyo 2400 meter, right? This is going to be for the Yushin Himba Japanese Oaks. You're going to see that we have a downhill over here. And so we just need to do a quick calculation. I think 60% of 2400 meter is around 1440. Yeah, it's 1440, right? And so the question is 1440 meter mark in this downhill section? And this downhill section is between 1250 meters and 1500 meters. So absolutely, as soon as we hit that 60% mark, because it's on a downhill, she's going to get this burst of speed, and it's going to carry over very likely into this late race. And velocity carryover into late race is pretty much like getting a head start on your acceleration to that new cap speed. And so it's pretty much a tier below just raw acceleration at the very beginning of these late race skills. It's very good. It's a very, very good skill, I would say, okay, on specific race courses, of course. Because if we look at like something like Tokyo 1600 meter, right, like where a lot of the popular mile G1s are, like NHK Mile Cup, like Victoria Mile, like Yasukinen, this one doesn't really work that well because the downhills over here on the third corner, nowhere is it near this sort of transitionary phase between mid race to late race, and so there's nothing. She doesn't even activate here, I believe, because she has to activate on the downhill. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Let me know in the comments. But if we take a look at the Kyoto race course, right? This is the 2200 meter. This is going to be for, I believe, the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Downhill section between this mark and this mark, and basically it's going to be that period, that position between mid race to late race, right? If you do the math, you take a look at this slope, the downhill, what's 60%, right? It's going to activate pretty much as soon as she hits this downhill, and that's going to translate into velocity carryover into the late race. Perfect, that's great. But the Shukusho, the 2000 meter one, is pretty much the same thing. Kyoto 2000 meter. As you enter this downhill section, boom, burst of speed. Mejiro Dober's unique skill is not very common amongst the Umamusume. It's not an acceleration skill, but it gives you a head start in your acceleration into your new cap speed as soon as you enter the late race. And so I would say it's pretty good. I would say it's pretty decent. It's not game-changing by any means, but I would say velocity carryover into late race is one of the more stronger skills than, like, let's say late race or last spurt not acceleration, but last spurt velocity, right? If we take a look at her innate skills, Kyoto race course, fantastic. That's great. That's fine. Medium distances would probably enjoy this. Fearless, when positioned in the mid pack during the second race or second half of the race, slightly increased velocity and very minimally increased acceleration. This is pretty much a velocity skill. But the problem is that because it's packed with acceleration, it's taken in the form of a more cost. And so because it costs kind of appropriately, because it has these two components, and because there's such a wide area where it can activate, I'm going to say that this is probably not worth your skill points, very likely, and to only spend on it if you don't really have anything else to spend on. Dauntless is almost certainly not worth it, just because it is a gold skill. It is super expensive. You're double dipping, right? Not very good. Take the Chance is a medium distance specific random point acceleration in the late race. So this is a pretty okay skill. It is good to sort of improve your odds at winning and like improve your odds of like bursting forward with speed on the late race, but it is not good to rely solely on this skill just for acceleration, or rather as your only source of acceleration. I would highly suggest for anyone playing Mejiro Dober camping to still try and see if they could get a parent Uma that has Mejiro Dober original outfit as the grandparent legacy, or to at least have Mejiro Ryan unique skill on access, because by having Mejiro Dober, the original outfit, as a grandparent, that's the only way you're going to get her skill, because you cannot choose Mejiro Dober to be the legacy Uma, the parent Uma of Mejiro Dober. But grandparent is totally fine, and you just have to hope that you inherit it through the inheritance, the inspiration events. If we take a look at the other skills, you have medium straightaways. It's okay. It's all right. You have full throttle. This is in like taking stamina in order to increase speed. And it's just not that great, I don't think. I don't like the idea of draining my own stamina and or having to build more. So not really particularly my favorite. You have From the Brink, which is the gold version of the Take the Chance acceleration skill, random point medium distance acceleration skill, and not bad, especially like if you consider the cost, right? Not bad at all, and it's good to have in addition to. It's not good to have on its own. All in all, she's pretty good. She's all right as an Uma. She's a fantastic Oshi pick, obviously. I mean, just look at this dress. Look at it. It's amazing, right? Very, very good dress. Very good outfit. And, the original outfit is a very good racer on her own, and you can always change outfits in-game. So I would definitely like to see that. But that said, as far as just on her own, she's okay. She's not bad. She has a pretty interesting skill here. It's kind of unique compared to all the other Umas, and it's also pretty effective too. I don't think she's that bad. She's okay. Moving on, let's talk about Taiki Shuttle. Taiki Shuttle Bubblegum Memories. Now, this Uma, she has 30% power, which is crazy. That's a lot of power growth, which is really nice because when you're improving your speed training also improves power. So 30% power, and that almost makes it so that you basically don't have to run power cards, which you already don't really have to do. But it could also mean that you're, instead of inheriting power sparks, you are inheriting other different types of sparks. And so that's great, right? We love to see that. Getting more gains from the training is very good, from the main training, which is speed training. If we take a look at her aptitudes, turf, and she also have Dirt B, which makes her pretty versatile. If you're looking for a dirt horse for your team trials, then she's a fantastic pick for that. She has sprint and mile, and usually on team trials, or rather all the time in team trials, for dirt racing, it's only on mile distance tracks, so that's perfect again. And we have style. You could build her as a front runner. You could build her as a pace chaser. Sometimes as a late surger, but mostly going to be as a pace chaser, as we'll see with her unique skill. Speaking of unique skill, let's take a look at it.
Yes! I'm winner! Wow! Great! Fantastic! Smile Bankai dance!
石のフラは
Yeehaw! Treasure is here! Yummy! Yes! Come on! Next! More advent!
So yet again, very great outfit. Love this outfit for Taiki Shuttle. I think it's very cute. I think it's very, how would you say, very colorful, very loud, very nice. And apparently there's like a Moo Cow's cameo over here. Look at that. We have Taiki Shuttle camping, okay? 30% power and the aptitudes as we discussed earlier. If we take a look at her unique skill, Joyful Voyage. If positioned toward the front with 200 meters remaining, increase velocity. Then, if also positioned near the leading Umamusume, gather strength to move slightly forward. So it's a last spurt velocity skill, pretty much, right? On its face, if you're anywhere between second, third, or fourth position, then you will get a speed boost on the last 200 meter. It's Triumphant Pulse. It's Triumphant Pulse, but it's not a greatly speed boost. So if you are really close, right? If you're within 5 meters of the next Uma in front of you, while let's say you're in second place, then not only do you get a target speed, you get an instant current speed 0.15, which is not like that. That's pretty good. Getting an instant boost of speed and then a new target speed to sort of get yourself towards is really good. And as far as like Umamusume goes, there's not that many current speed skills. So turns out that this is the first skill, unique skill, or rather any skill that actually increases current speed. All the other sort of current speed sort of effectors are typically debuffs. These are all debuffs. This is all like decreased current speed rather than increased current speed. So they're all debuffs, and as far as like increasing actually speed and as far as like buffing it, this is Taiki Shuttle's only unique strength. And as far as like an extra boost of velocity at the very end, target speed improves your speed cap and causes your Uma to accelerate to that speed. Increasing current speed just sets your current speed 15 centimeters per second higher than what it was, which is pretty good. It's 200 meters remaining. 200 meters is plenty of distance to change the game. And then you have the increased current target speed as well on top of that. This is a pretty good last spurt velocity skill. I would say, I would say this is one of the stronger ones, absolutely. So the question is, does Taiki Shuttle camping have other skills to sort of accelerate or answer the lack of acceleration? And if we take a look, we can see that she has wet conditions. That's fine. Productive plan. Slightly widen the margin when positioned toward the front. Early race, which is basically the white version of Mile Maven, which if you remember is very good. Early race after 5 seconds. If you're running on a mile distance tracks and you're in the top 5, then boom, more speed, which is great. That's amazing. And then you also have the gold version Mile Maven, which her original outfit has, by the way, as well. So she's not slacking in the Mile Specialist department. Productive Plan, Mile Maven, these things are here to stay, and they're very, very good. Head On is her, or rather, the Pace Chaser. The Pace Chaser skill, acceleration skill. It's on a random point on the late race. And a random point acceleration skill, again, is good to supplement your other acceleration sources. It's not good to rely on as your only source of acceleration. But if you have like Nimble Navigator, I would imagine that this is pretty good if you have other forms of it, right? Particularly for mile distance, if you use Nishino Flowers unique skill, I believe that's going to be a very, very good combination. So yeah, I would say that if you put Taiki Shuttle, the camping outfit, and you pair it and give it like something like Budding Blossom, this Taiki Shuttle is going to be a force to be reckoned with on the mile distance tracks, especially because that unique skill pretty uniquely works on pace chasers, right? She wants to be not defending her position, but basically overtaking, right? And if she does have that opportunity, she's just going to get that extra burst of speed to secure a win. With the acceleration, with Head On, supplementing it, I believe she'll be a very, very good Uma, especially when you consider that she has mile corners and pace chaser corners, which is like all you would want, right? You want your strategy corners, you want your distance corners, and on a mile distance track, if you're using pace chaser, which you're obviously going to use, yeah, Taiki Shuttle camping is pretty good, I think. I think she's a fairly good Umamusume. You have also the gold version of Head On, which I would probably get if you have nothing else to buy. I would absolutely get Head On as a white skill, but neck and neck is only if you have like the extra skill points to kind of throw around, I think. But yeah, as far as Taiki Shuttle, I believe that this has a lot. Taiki Shuttle camping has a lot of good skills. She also has a lot of skills that she can inherit that will fill the gaps that she does have, like lack of acceleration or lack of deterministic guaranteed acceleration, right? But she has supplemental acceleration. She has amazing last spurt speed. She has amazing mid-race skills in mile corners and pace chaser corners. Very good. Like, just look at the cost of this 130 for this type of speed boost for that duration. It's amazing. It frankly is amazing. I think Taiki Shuttle camping is very, very good. Just shy of Umas that have their own base form, unique skill acceleration, that big boost of guaranteed acceleration. Taiki Shuttle, very, very good Oshi pick, and just a great racer for mile distance tracks overall. As far as a parent, not so much. All right, let's talk about the support cards. So the support cards, El Condor Pasa. El Condor Pasa is a Guts card, SSR, and her unique perk is training effectiveness is based on the number of cards trained with. So what does that mean? That means that she's going to get 5 training effectiveness for every support card in the same training facility that she happens to be in, because it's her training effectiveness, right? It's a stat based off her. And so El Condor Pasa at base is pretty poor of a card. She's not that good at base because she has 0 race bonus for Track Blazer. And as far as like the stats that she provides, not really. She has initial guts, she has initial friendship gauge, she has hints, and that's it, right? Training effectiveness, sure, she gets 5 for each one, but you're either putting her in a guts-centric deck and hoping that they all land on guts a lot of the time, or you're putting her on a deck that's focused on some other stat and just hoping to cash in on this training effectiveness whenever she still happens to land on that stat alongside everyone else. The strategy is kind of patchy. There's not really much to it. I feel like it's a very high roll card, not a very good card on its own, or definitely not stable and easy to suggest for players with a tight budget or lack of carrots. If you take a look at the race bonus, it does come in later on. So 1 limit break is going to give you guts bonus, 3 limit breaks is going to give you 5% race bonus, and finally at maximum break you're going to get that 10% race bonus, which is what everyone wants on a card. That's great for a race bonus, right? But it requires maximum break. So let's take a look at the skills and see if that sort of makes up for it. If we take a look at the support hints, you can tell, and from the skill from events, this is a very pace chaser centric card. Straightaways is whatever, it's fine. Head on is good. Prepare to pass is good. Preferred position is good. Standard distance, pace chaser savvy. These are great too for something like groundwork. They have like pretty good pace chaser skills on hints. But the lack of the consistency in terms of the stat production, I do think is just going to be too big of a weakness to ignore. If you do say look at the skills from events, the Speed Star, now that's great. This is a good skill, and there's no chance for it to be bad. Typically, these SSR cards have a bad event where they give you a white skill version. This one actually just does give you Speed Star. You're gonna get Speed Star. Okay, it's just a matter of like you get +3 hints or you get +1 hint. And honestly, like this is fine. This is great in terms of like the guarantee, but Speed Star is hardly a must-have skill for anything. It's a great skill for pace chasers, but it's hardly a must-have. And so there's just the question is, can you find a better card for your deck? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be yes when it comes to El Condor Pasa. Moving on, you have the Wit card, Matikanetannhauser, a Wit card. This is so cute. I love this card. I believe they have a Shadowverse evolved version of this card. It's very good. I think I have one actually. And this one has Machitan Adventure as the unique perk. It says Wit Friendship Recovery will happen when the bond gauge, the friendship gauge, is at 100. There might be a way to get more bond than 100, but not in the global version, I believe. Matikanetannhauser will give you an extra 5 Wit Friendship Recovery when her bond gauge is full, which means that at maximum break, you're going to get 10 energy points of recovery whenever, or from specifically Matikanetannhauser, whenever she happens to be on Wit training. No race bonus, only 1%. Low specialty priority, which is fine. A roaming Wit card is nothing out of the ordinary. You have initial speed, you have speed bonus, you have some initial friendship gauge and friendship bonus. What you don't see is you don't see training effectiveness, and you don't see mood effect to improve the Wit training. So without these two components, the sort of stat stick potential of this card is pretty abysmal. If you take a look at the first limit break, she gets Wit bonus +1, which is fine. That's awesome, right? And then finally, when you get 3 limit breaks, she gets initial Wit, which is okay, 5% race bonus. And then finally at max limit break, no more race bonus, right? But she just gets a little more extra initial Wit. All in all, as a stat stick, Matikanetannhauser is unfortunately not very good. I would say that this 10 recovery, it's gonna be tough to kind of gauge. I mean, like, there's a chance, like, oh, it's good, or is it a meme? If I were to put my money on anything, it would be that it's a meme. 10 recovery when the bond gauge is full. Bond gauge is gonna be full, probably a little into the classic gear, unless you're really, really lucky. And even then, like, is that 5 extra points of energy going to do much for you? In Track Blazer, I don't think so. In other places, I still don't think so. So let's take a look at the support hints. Corner recovery, we have pace strategy as well. These are fine recovery skills. Home stretch and pace is it's pretty bad. I mean, like, this is a bad skill to pick up when you have nothing else to spend on, but it's just not like a core skill. Not like Nimble Navigator, which is great for late surges, for end closures, for pace chasers, anyone that's not a front runner, right? They typically want Nimble Navigator on most tracks, But yeah, Nimble Navigator is pretty good. You have Ramp Up. You also have It's On. Ramp Up is a fantastic velocity skill, very consistent, very good, as well as It's On. It's On is the gold version of Ramp Up, and I would say for anyone that's not a front runner, Ramp Up is like a pretty core, essential skill for that mid-race velocity, especially for the people hanging in the back, where happen to be a lot more Umas, right? You're almost always going to be passing someone up at some point in time, and getting the speed boost to do that is very nice. So, all in all, Matikanetannhauser Wit card, not very good. This banner, all in all, is a very, very easy skip, especially when you consider right around the corner, pretty much in 2 support card banners, we are going to be getting access to Throne Assemblage from Symbly Rudolph. This is from on the last week of June, the June 25th. This card is very, very good, but not for a very long time. So it's a highly advisable skip. It's very easy to skip this card, I think, personally. You have on the next support card banner right after that being the Summer Maruzensky. This is going to be at the start of July. This card, I think you should be saving up for alongside the Light Hello Tachyon card, which is going to be in late July. But if you were to have to choose between Summer Maruzensky or the Light Hello Agnes Tachyon, I would pick the Agnes Tachyon to spend and save and dump all your carrots in, because these cards are going to be meta defining for the upcoming 1.5 year anniversary, where we're going to get a new scenario, where we're going to be able to play the Grand Live, or whatever they decide to call it, in the global localization new scenario 1.5 year anniversary one. Okay, well, anyway, that's gonna be it for me. It's a pretty big video, but there are a lot of things to cover. Sorry it's a little late. I think this is gonna be like a day late by my calculations, but leave a like, subscribe, use code MAMBO 10% off your gamer subs. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.